I'm currently unemployed, but I know that the state has to say, can't say zero and it's not going to be zero. Mr. Welch there went through my medias and made the assumption that I was a full-time tattoo artist, and that is not the case.
How are you employed?
I'm not employed.
So the state understands everything else to be agreed. Joint managed conservatorship, with the phased in though, 6 at each step. Uh, there would be health insurance would be through government medical. So cash medical would be requested. However, the parties are not requesting retroactive child support. There was a family violence incident that occurred during when the child was pregnant, but the parties are not asking for non-disclosure. The parties are in agreement to keeping the apologies, the surname of the child the same at Lewell, I believe. If the court wants to change that for some reason, they'd prefer Gonzalez Lewell.
I'll let you tell me, get information who Lewell is. All right, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Uh, both are so, Your Honor. The state's understanding is that the child has autism and ADHD and has regular therapy and medical appointments due to this. So both parties are in agreement to include special language regarding the health appointments in the order. Basically, that if Mr. Gonzalez has physical possession of the child at the time of an appointment and is unable to bring the child, Mr. Gonzalez will notify Ms. Ruiz in a timely manner so she can. I believe that's it, Your Honor.
All right, now, Mr. Gonzalez, I'll let you make an opening statement or tell the court why you're asking the court to do what you're asking me to do, sir, I'll need to ask you to again. You got served with a copy of the paperwork, and in that paperwork there were requests for production and whether or not you were able to produce that information for the state. So, Mr. Gonzalez, it's now your turn, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So the way that the state is coming up, the gentleman, Mr. Welch, was talking to me about the income and stuff. So when I first spoke to the first lady, she had told me, about income and all, and I was telling her that there is none because I'm currently unemployed, but I know that the state has to say, I can't say zero and it's not going to be zero. So Mr. Welch there went through my medias and made the assumption that I was a full-time tattoo artist, and that is not the case. The case is that I'm leaving my career behind. Yes, is it something I can do? Is it something that I've been doing? Yes, but I was telling them that I have a daughter that I live with here, and so it is necessary for me to have a steady income, something that is going to be a for sure check, instead of something like tattooing where it's on and off, on and off. Because the lady before him was trying to ask me and pinpoint down to how much I made, but I was telling her that it hasn't been any good, like money wise, it hasn't been good, and I'm at the moment barely getting by. So like I don't own or live under an apartment or a home that is under my name anymore, right? So and that's
Sir, here's the deal. You're rambling, and again,
okay.
this is an open statement, and you're not under oath yet. So,
Okay.
So if you're trying to tell the court that you're moving on, you're doing something different, I'm going to let the state ask you questions once you're under oath. You can tell me what your plans are and what we're doing, because it sounds like probably this is going to be a temporary order at best. But again, I need to have you under oath.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get this taken care of.
Can I ask you something before we do that?
Yes, sir.
So I was asking Mr. Welch if you were to put in, so I'm not trying not to pay child support. I know that's part of it, but I was asking him if you put in the order for, I think he said like 450 something, which I don't have now. I said, is it something that if I get a job, which I am in the process of doing, once I get that job, does that get rearranged, or is that like a contract for X amount of years? Because I know that you guys renew my numbers at
Okay,
some
here's the
point.
deal, sir. The circumstance if once it becomes a final order, it's a final order. The state can usually look at things every 3 years, but they can always do a modification if there's a change of circumstance. that would change child support by 10% or an extra $100 a month, one way or the other. So there's no guarantee that, like I said, this will be a 3-year order. It could be a 1-year order. It could be a 10-month order. I think the quickest one I ever did was something like 7 or 8 months, but that's because dad went from unemployment to making a substantial amount of money. So yeah. So
Okay.
yes, sir. There's no it can be modified. It's just rare that it's done within a year or two. Okay.
Okay.
All right, but at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and get you both sworn in, and let's find out what's going on here. Let me find out where you're living, sir. Let me get some information as far
Yep.
as what you have turned over to the state as per the request, and we'll take it from there.
State calls Heaven Ruiz. What is your full name?
Heavenly Ruiz.
What is the full name of the child in this case?
Leon Lewell.
When was Leon born?
March 3rd, 2021, not 2020.
Yes, Your Honor. I think we had
Okay,
in
I
our
got the, I was looking at it, I said this child's now 4 years old. The child's only 3. Got it. All right, thank you.
and so where did Lewell come from?
That is my maiden name.
Now, has Mr. Gonzalez ever physically assaulted you in the past?
Do I have to talk about that?
Yes, ma'am. You just asked me the question. Here's the deal, ma'am. I'm looking for things that it's more under Texas law. It's more pertinent if it's anything within the last 2 years. If it's 2 or 3 years out, but no, if he did it 3 years ago, I still need to know about it. Okay, so it is.
It was just when I was pregnant. It was one time when I was
Well,
pregnant.
okay,
He
well, if
was
it happened, it happened, ma'am.
intoxicated.
I can't, you can't change what happened. So I'll let the state go ahead and proceed, and you can answer the question, ma'am. Thank you.
So when exactly when you were pregnant? What year? So was the police ever involved?
No.
Explain to the court what happened.
I was about to leave for TDY for work. We went out to Round Rock area. He was drinking. We're having a good time. Came back to his place. I don't know what happened, but I just remember him being on top of me with his hands around my throat.
Are you asking for non-disclosure today?
No.
Do you understand you can ask the court to grant that?
Yes.
Has there been any other physical assaults?
No.
What about verbal threats?
No.
Do you agree to joint managing conservatorship with you as primary?
Yes.
Do you agree to a phased-in standard possession order with 6 at each step? And I can go over each step if you don't know what they are.
That's fine.
Do you agree to keep the child's surname the same at Lewell?
If that's what Hector is okay with, yes, it's fine.
Well, what do you want, ma'am?
I mean, I grew up with my mom's last name and I always wanted my dad's, but I can see it in different ways. Like he doesn't have a relationship with his father, so he doesn't like his last name.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't mean to interrupt you. Here's the deal, ma'am. Under state law, Texas law, it's considered to be in the child's best interest that the last name reflect that of the dad also, just not yours. You're right. He might want someday to say, I want my father's name. I don't mind making it Lewell Gonzalez, but yeah, dad needs to be in there unless there's a legal reason for me not to do so. And right now, that family violence episode was a one-time incident. It's been more than 2 years ago. It hasn't been repeated, so that's not going to affect that circumstance either. So again, at this point, the court would be looking at Lewell Gonzalez. Thank you.
Your Honor, I would like to amend the opening just a bit. This one might require an ad litem. I know the state doesn't have any interest in that particular thing, but I just want to let you know that may be necessary, Your Honor.
Well, let's go ahead. Let me hear, and I'll determine whether or not that's appropriate at this point. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Does Leon have any physical or mental disabilities?
He has autism. He has ADHD. That's it.
Does he go to any appointments for these medical appointments for these conditions?
Yes. We go to speech therapy, occupational therapy, ABA therapy.
So would you like the order to include something along the lines of if Mr. Gonzalez has physical possession of the child at the time of an appointment and is unable to bring him, Mr. Gonzalez will notify you in a timely manner so you can.
Yes.
What health insurance does Leon have?
He uses the state insurance right now.
Now, would you like the court to use the Bureau of Labor Statistics that I believe I mentioned to you?
I'm not using that, Mr. Welch. That's out. It's not accurate out. I'm sorry. It's just not accurate enough unless I'm surprised you can't find something for tattoo orders, but let's get some testimony from him and see what his plans are in the long run. But for right now, no, I'm not going to use it. It's not appropriate. Sorry, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Ruiz, are you asking for retroactive child support?
No,
Did anyone force you to not ask for it?
no,
Do you understand you can't ask the court for retroactive child support?
I understand
Why are you not asking for it?
because I don't need it. It's not, I don't know. To me, that just seems, I don't know. That's just not me.
All right, ma'am. What county? Where are you currently living? What city?
I live in Killeen, Texas.
Are you from Killeen, or is that your home, or are we looking at?
It's been my home since I was like 12.
Okay, thank you. All right then, ma'am. And currently, again, I understand you're not asking for retro, and we're getting ready to get some questions from the father about his current income circumstances. So anyway, ma'am, I'm going to be back in just a moment. Mr. Welch, call your next witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Hector Gonzalez.
Yes.
What is your full name?
Hector Primitivo Gonzalez III.
Besides Leon, do you have any other children?
I do. I have two.
What are their names?
My first daughter's name is Jane Alberg, and my youngest is Rainy Sage Tanner.
Does Jane live with you, or do you pay support for Jane under a court order?
Yes. And no, she does not live with me.
So she doesn't live with you, but you pay support for her under a court order.
Yeah.
So what about Rainy?
No, I live with Rainy.
Do you agree to joint managed conservatorship with Miss Ruiz having the right to establish where the child lives?
As long as it's in Texas, yeah.
So you would like a geographic restriction
Yes.
on Miss Ruiz as of Texas?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, I wasn't aware of that.
I don't think they mentioned it.
If you want, Your Honor, after this I can circle back to Miss Ruiz and ask her if she would be okay with that.
All right, well, you can always just circle back. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
Do you agree to a phase-in standard possession order, sir? With 6 at each step. Do you need me to explain what that means?
What was that word? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. A phase step?
Phased in,
Phased
sir.
in. Oh no, I know what it is. You're talking about like visitation, and then like it's like a 4-hour thing, and then I pick them up for 4 hours. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, yes, sir. So, before the standard possession order, there would be 4 steps that you would have to do. You have to complete
Mhm.
visitation at each step, and each step there would have 6. There would be 6 periods at each step. So for the first one, it would be supervised. Then the other 3 wouldn't. I can go over exactly how much there, but do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, you're talking about like, the length of how the visitation is going to go from, beginning to, let's say, a year or something until I have them like weekends and stuff, right?
Well,
And like
what-
pickups and all that.
well, once you finish those steps, then
Yeah.
you would have a standard possession order.
Yeah, yeah, like
it's-
my you're saying like a provisional period or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was gonna ask you too. I don't know if this came up, but I live in Travis County, and also with Leon being in Belton and stuff like that, or not Belton, I'm sorry, Killeen and stuff like that. Is it also like, I guess, like figured out by you all and how that's gonna happen with travel and stuff?
Here's the deal, sir. Under Texas law, it's your obligation to do all travel. All right, to and from. So long as mom lives in Bell County, and that's what the final order said is, then it's your responsibility to visit in Bell County. And once you get the visitation, it's your responsibility to pick up and drop off at her residence.
And this is also past the probational time,
Oh,
like
yeah.
what?
Yeah, that's standard. That's standard. It should be in your other order like that. But again, I'll have the state go over that with you in a moment also to see where that other order is out of and what the circumstances are for that other child. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You may proceed, Mr. Welch.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I guess for that other child, I guess it would be for Jane.
Okay.
Do you have a visitation order for Jane?
On paper, yes.
What do you mean by on paper?
Her mother took Jane to Michigan, broke the geographical thing that you said. That's why I asked for it. So I haven't seen my kid in like the last 2 years.
Um, regarding Leon's special needs, do you
Mm-hmm.
agree to include that special language that I mentioned to Miss Ruiz?
Um, say it one more time. And according to Leon's stuff, I'm sorry.
So I had I had I had discussed with Miss Ruiz about including language, something like if you have physical possession of Leon at time of an appointment,
Oh yeah.
or and is unable and you are unable to bring him to the appointment, you will notify Miss Ruiz in a timely manner so that she can.
Yeah, no problem. Mm-hmm.
All right. So sir, how are you employed?
I'm not employed.
Do you work as a tattoo artist?
I freelance, yeah. I I do jobs as a tattoo artist, yeah.
How much do you make from those jobs?
It depends.
Uh,
It could be $50, it could be 100, it could be two.
Did
It
you
just
bring oh,
go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
did you bring any like income tax returns or any kind of documentation showing how much you would make?
Not for this current, not for what is it, 2023. I filed an extension and I'm pretty sure I already passed the time, but I haven't done that. But I do have like ones from 2022. But no, I didn't bring them if that's what you're asking.
So regarding what do you intend to do in the future?
So I was talking to the lady earlier. I was letting her know that I have an interview set up here in the next week or so. I'm just waiting on background check and the drug test. And then I'm hoping that they'll put me on, they'll hire me.
What kind of job are you interviewing for?
Call center job. It's like they're like doing like loan like you call in and I either accept you or deny you for loans.
Does that require any like special education?
No,
What about requiring special licenses? What ed education do you have, sir?
high school.
Do you have any special licenses
No.
currently? So before your work as a tattoo artist, what did you do?
Um, job like just regular jobs. I had a job doing ballet. I've worked Target. I've worked Pizza Hut. So on and so on. Just like the day-to-day jobs.
All right. Yes. Let's second, sir. All right, sir. How long have you been working as a tattoo artist, sir?
In its entirety for 15 years.
All right, then. And you said you filed your income tax in 2022. You
Yes.
filed for an extension on your 2023. By the way, if you file for an extension, the deadline's not to October 15th.
Okay.
But as long as you're not a subchapter S corporation, and then it's on the 16th of this month. But you said and who did you work for at that time? Were you a salary employee or 1099 employee? What was your status in 2023? I'm sorry for your taxes in 2022.
22, I was a 1099.
All right then. And you said you filed and paid your taxes for that year?
Yeah.
All right then. And did you turn those tax returns over to the state?
No, I did not.
All
Wait,
right.
to you guys, right? No.
Well, I'm technically the state, but we're different branches of the state.
Gotcha.
In your original pleading, sir, there was it was a request for you to produce certain items, bank accounts, information, and your tax returns for the prior 2 years. So that would include 2022. And if you file for an extension in 2023, there is a form that you had to fill out with your preliminary information on it. So you would need to show the state a copy of that also. Can you make those available, sir?
Yes. Also, you also mentioned bank statements, right?
Yes, sir. You're supposed to give the state a copy of your bank statements, and that, I hadn't gotten to that point yet. But do
Okay.
when you did, as you said, you were a 1099 employee. How did they normally pay you when you in 2022 and 2023? How did they pay you? Checks, electronic transfers, cash? What are we talking about?
Like 50 on cash, and then what is it, like apps, like with like Venmo, Cash App, and stuff like that.
Okay, then, and all that information as far as what you earned was accumulated in your 1099s for both those years, sir?
2022, yes.
And 2023 also, were you a 1099 employee at that time also?
Yeah, yeah, same thing.
Okay, and starting in 2023, how many outlets did you work for?
Excuse me? What do you mean
Who
out
did
loud?
you
Like
work for, and how many different
like shops?
yeah.
And a lot of travel. Like I traveled, so I don't know. Basically here in Austin there was two. And then like I said, traveling in other states and stuff like that.
And did you always get 1099 from each of those endeavors, or was there something else going on there also?
That was the 50% cash part, because especially with out of state, since I'm there for like guest spots, I'm not like a resident artist. I'm not working for them, Monday through Friday or whatever. So it was mainly cash when it was out of state.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. You say you're working out of Austin. It was two shops, and has that been the history for the last couple of years? Is those same two shops mainly, or was there any third and fourth shops that did a great deal of business with you?
No, it was just the one or two shops that I had,
All right.
or that I was at. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you. All right then. I'm sorry, Mr. Welch, but here's the deal, sir. You're gonna have to get the state a copy of that information. Oh, I'm sorry. And do you have any bank accounts?
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you, is it you guys requiring for me to turn in like how many months of the banks, and then, or is it just banks, or is it both?
Okay, since you do electronic transfer, sir, and Venmo's technically not a bank, any electronic systems that you get, you were paid through, you need to get a year-to-date total for both those, which is obviously just a real simple printout on both on Venmo and any other app like that. So you need to get the year-to-date amount that you received in those accounts for 2022, 2023 to go along with your 1099s and your bank account information to turn over to the state. And it's explained in the petition that you received, sir, but I can have Mr. Welch send you a new copy of that petition so you can, in case you don't know where the old one is, we can see exactly what was requested under the request for production. All right?
Yes, please. That'd be great.
All right,
Yes, Your Honor. I can send him. I can send him another copy of the petition. And it has on there what he should be bringing.
All right, good enough. And again, I'm going to with that information. The state doesn't say Venmo, they don't say electronics, but I need for you to again go into those electronic transfer accounts and print out the statement with a year to print out the statement from January 1 to December 31st for 2022 and January 1 to December 31st for 2023, sir. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. And that goes along with everything else. All right, you may proceed, Mr. Welch. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, anything on redirect to Ms. Ruiz?
Oh yes, Your Honor. Just about the geographic. Ms. Ruiz, would you be okay with a restriction on where Leon can live with you to Texas?
I mean, I guess. I mean, I only have my mom here. So, like, all my family is in Ohio. Like, that's where my family is from.
You lived here, but you've lived here all your life since then, correct, ma'am?
Yeah.
Have you ever lived in Ohio?
Yes.
When's the
All
last
my
time you
life
lived?
before I came here.
Well, you say you've been here for how many years now?
Since sixth grade, but then I got married. I lived in Maryland. I lived in California. I've
Okay.
only been back in Texas for 4 years.
All right, good enough. Anyway, I'll save that for final hearing anyway. And And sir, and so, but I'm looking at making this a temporary order, ma'am. I'm making an order in temporary child support.
I can provide minimum wage, child support and medical support, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna do that for this, but again, I know better than minimum wage for tattoo artists, okay? They make more than that. I'm sorry, sir, but you're about the 50th or 60th tattoo artist I've had in the last 10 years come through this courtroom. And depending on your expertise and, you know, your reputation, yeah, some of these, yeah, and you look a little young, so you're not one of those guys pulling down 75, 100,000 a year, I don't think, but still, I've met those guys, so yeah, and ladies, so yeah. But anyway, for right now, I'll go ahead and do the minimum wage, but I want that information. And if you do get that job, is that the new job you're talking about? Is that salaried or is that commission?
Salary? It's like hourly. I don't make
Okay.
commissions off of sales or anything like that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So if you get that job, we'll be able to get that data, and the court will look at making that the information that the court's going to use as far as your salary going forward. And do you know what the hourly rate on that is right now?
Yeah, 15 or 16 depending on like I don't know,
Okay.
something like that. I was gonna say, yeah, like assuming you'll push this down maybe I don't know how many weeks or whatever. If I have that job, is that something that I would just is that what we could go based off of?
Yes, sir. That's what more than likely it'll be based off of, unless you were one of those $75,000, $100,000 a year guys. Okay, then I'm saying you're underemployed and you need to go back and get it done, sir. All right.
That sounds
All right.
good.
But anyway, get the date, state that data. I'm definitely looking at making this a temporary order and coming back probably in about in about 60 days. That's usually a good time frame for me to at least get the job. If you get the job, get it up and running and get a couple of paychecks in so we can confirm everything and see whether or not you're going to be straight 40-hour a week person, or maybe doing 45 or 46 hours a week where we can include that. But for right now, I'll go ahead and do base the temporary support on minimum wage. And again, sir, the mom may not want retroactive child support, but the court may not go with that. That's still it's considered to be in your child's best interest that you pay. And based on the circumstances, I might still just go along with mom's request on that. And where were you? You see, the mother in your other case broke the geographic restriction. What county was that order out of, sir?
Travis.
All right then.
Sir, can I ask a question? What is that reactive? What did you say? Something child support?
Retroactive back child support.
Oh, okay, back pay. Okay, got you.
Yeah. Under Texas law, it's you're technically could be obligated up to 4 years retroactive child support or back child support, and while the other party, while the mother has the right to say no, she doesn't want it. The court actually has the right to say yes, you do, and order 100%, 20%, 50%. But again, it's a case-by-case circumstance. I rarely go against what the custodial parent wants, but I will hold that to a final hearing. And it doesn't sound like I'll probably go against that, sir, because again, you're not I usually do that when I know someone is a high income, you know, one of those people that should have been paying $1,800 a month and has paid zero over the last 4 years. Yeah, I'm making them pay back child support. All right. But your circumstances might I may not do it, but I want to wait till I get a copy of everything that shows what you've been earning and what you're going to be earning going in the future, sir.
Okay.
And sir, you also get the do you have a copy of your old order from Travis County?
Actually, I was on my way there here in these next couple of days. I was talking to somebody about it. They'd reached out to me for the renewal.
You get that when you get a copy of that order, take a photograph of that front page and email it to the state. Also, I want to get a copy of that also. All right.
Okay.
In case I need to get a certified copy, the state just needs the college number, and then we can get an official copy that can technically be introduced to the evidence if necessary.
I have the case number. Yeah.
Oh, you have the case number?
Yeah, because I pay child support, and that's a number I use to like call your hotline or whatever, or the hotline. Sorry, the
Mr. Welch works for the Attorney General's Office of the State of Texas, and I work for the Office of Court Administration. Well, yeah, we don't work for the same. We don't work for the same boss. All right. So there you go. All right then, Mr. Welch. Any questions of either party? Again, I'm looking at a temp. I'm looking at making going ahead and setting up the graduated visitation schedule going forward. It's going to take it should not be anywhere near completed by the time we come back in about 60 to 80 days. So we can so that should be the visitation at this time going forward. I do want Mr. Gonzalez informing the mother, because the visitation is the first, third, and fifth Saturdays of the month. And the first break-ins are from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 5. You need to let the mom know at least 48 hours in advance, sir, that you are planning on coming down on that first, third, fifth Saturday, because right now that if you're coming down this Saturday, she needs to know, because this is the first Saturday of the month, and I think so you need to need to let her know that. Last Saturday was the fifth Saturday, so there's not going to be a fifth Saturday this month. But again, that's that circumstance. So you need to let her know 48 hours in advance that you are going to show up. That way she can have the child available. If they're and at the final hearing, Mr. Welch, you remind the court about the special circumstance as far as if dad cannot get the child to the child's appointment, again, because of distance and everything else, he needs to notify the mom. But here's the deal, sir. If you get the visitation and you get the right to pick up that child and you get the right to have that child with you, you make those appointments, okay? That's your child, that's your responsibility. Don't be calling mom to come to Austin to pick up the child, to bring the child back to Colleen, because the judge wouldn't be crazy about that idea either. You said you want to be dad, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to be dad, so be dad, all right?
Yeah.
All right.
And right now for the beginning, it's you guys are doing supervised, right, Miss
First,
Ruiz?
third, and fifth, yes, sir. 1 to 5. So you got the first 6 visits, and the first visit is supposed to be this coming Saturday. Are you going to make that visit, sir, or is this too fast?
I think I should be able to do it. Saturday's fine. My daughter's
well,
birthday's on Sunday.
Since we're already inside that 48 hours, sir, I'll go ahead and let you be sure to tell mom on or before 6 p.m. tomorrow whether or not you're going to be able to show up for that Saturday visit. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But other than that, sir, going forward, you need to let her know at least 48 hours in advance. That way she can make plans to have the child available, and instead of going out and running errands and doing something else that people normally do on Saturdays. All right. So at this point, Miss Ruiz, questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, questions or anything else, sir?
No,
All
sir.
right, Mr. Welch, anything in particular you need me to clarify for the temporary order until we come back? And if you want to get the parties back into a breakout room and confirm the date that they can show up in November, where you can possibly finalize this and get all that final data, that'll work out. And then you can also get that calls number from Mr. Gonzalez, okay?
I can do that, Your Honor. I did have some other clarifications I would like.
Go right ahead, please, sir. I figured.
The surname, Your Honor. So is that going to be just at Lewell, or are we changing it to?
It's going to be include both parents' names, Lewell and hyphen Gonzalez. Thank you.
All right. So Lewell hyphen Gonzalez. All right. And Your Honor, for the minimum wage, child support would be $182 per month starting October 1st.
Go ahead and start that. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and start that September 1st. I can't hold him in contempt for not paying it, but I want him to pay it this month, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. And the medical would be $19 then per month.
All right. All right. For child support, 182. Medical 19 starts the first day of September, which means, sir, you got to September 30th to make that payment, okay?
Okay.
All right. What else, Mr. Welch?
And so that so you don't want to include that special language regarding the visits until final
order. Yeah, just remind us to put that in the final order, because again, right now he's not in 2 months he can't get anywhere close. He won't be able to get anywhere close to the having the child overnights yet. Okay, so.
And Your Honor, so regarding Mr. Gonzalez's request for a geographic restriction of Texas.
Hey, that's the final also.
All right.
All right. Here's the thing, Miss Ruiz. Geographic restriction is not carved in stone. You come to me and tell me later on, hey, Judge, I got a job with SpaceX out of Florida, and they're going to pay me a ton of money. Guess what, man? I'll let you move to Florida, okay? I got into the University of Notre Dame, and I need to go to Indiana. Oh, where's Notre Dame? I forgot that quick. So I need to go to North Bend, okay? So South Bend, so whatever. Anyway, I'll let you go, ma'am. But it has to be for legitimate reason. I will always lift that geo restriction. People's lives move on, and that's the way it needs to be set up. All right. But for right now, the law is that y'all should try to raise the child together, and I try to keep families together. But I never grant geo restrictions for military personnel because it's just impractical. But if you give me a reason, ma'am, you can always get that you can always get that taken care of, all right? It's just not, again, not carved in stone. All right. You may proceed,
And-
Mr. Webb, I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. It's fine. So just two last things. First thing, so Mr. Gonzalez should bring year-to-date account for Venmo, print out the statement or send it to us in an email for January 1st to December 22nd for 2022, 2023. He should send us his new job data as well. And then and I'll also email him a copy of the petition, which will include the general stuff that he should bring. I think that's what you wanted, Your Honor.
He may have a couple of pay stubs going in the next month or so, but at the final hearing, he needs to bring his final, his the most up-to-date information of things that are ongoing, like the new job, okay?
And one last thing, Your Honor. So we're not doing an ad litem.
I don't think it's necessary in this case.
Yes, Your Honor. I think that's it. I'll get the two parties in breakout rooms and we'll hammer out a next date.
All right, thank y'all. All right, again, one last time, Mr. Ruiz, anything else, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, anything else, sir?
No, sir.
All right, see y'all, see you in November, folks, and let's see what we can get this, see how we get this one done. At this time, the court will now go off the record, and you may get them in the breakout rooms and dismiss them, Mr. Welch. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.